Did you know that after age 60, certain foods we frequently consume can cause inflammation in the body, accelerating aging and increasing the risk of disease? If you're in this age group, this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 3 common foods that may be harming your health and show you how to avoid them for a healthier and more active life. Stay with me and discover the alternatives. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to what we ingest. Certain foods we frequently consume can be harmful, not only by increasing the risk of inflammation, but also by affecting our health in ways we don't immediately realize. But did you know that after age 60, some of these foods can be even more problematic than you imagine? Inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of health in old age. It's linked to diseases like arthritis, heart disease, and even diabetes. And the worst part is that many of the foods we consume every day can be largely responsible for this inflammation in our bodies. But don't worry, we're not just here to talk about the problems, but also to show you what you can do to avoid these risks. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 3 common foods that you're probably consuming and that may be silently inflaming your body. And best of all, I'll teach you healthy alternatives so you can make simple but powerful changes to your diet. These changes can help reduce inflammation, increase your energy, improve your joint health, and of course, prevent long-term diseases. You'll discover that alternatives for a healthier diet aren't difficult to implement and can transform your quality of life. Stay with me until the end and see how to make these changes practically in your daily life. The first food we're going to talk about is one of the biggest villains when it comes to inflammation in the body: refined sugar. It's present in many foods we consume daily, from sweets and cakes to bread and soft drinks. And however tasty they may be, these foods can cause major health problems, especially after age 60. Excessive sugar consumption can cause a spike in blood glucose levels, which in turn leads to increased insulin production. When this production is excessive and the body cannot metabolize glucose effectively, inflammation begins. And if this inflammation persists for too long, it can become chronic, resulting in various complications. This chronic inflammation can affect the joints, causing pain, stiffness, and even diseases like arthritis. Furthermore, it contributes to an increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. After age 60, these problems can worsen more rapidly, as metabolism naturally slows down and the body loses some of its ability to process the sugar. But why does sugar affect our joints and cardiovascular system so much? Well, when we consume excess sugar, it promotes the production of substances called pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are basically messengers in our body that increase inflammation. And when this happens constantly, the body begins to suffer the consequences of this widespread inflammation. Furthermore, sugar can also cause glycation, a process in which excess glucose binds to the body's proteins, forming products called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These products damage cells and accelerate skin aging, as well as affecting joints, the nervous system, and blood vessels. Now that we know how sugar affects health, let's talk about what you can do to avoid these problems. The first tip is to start replacing refined sugars with more natural and nutritious alternatives. An excellent alternative is fruit, which contains natural sugars but also offers fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that help fight inflammation. Another option is the use of natural sweeteners such as stevia, xylitol, or honey, which are more body-friendly options and do not cause glucose spikes. In addition, when preparing your meals, try to avoid processed foods that contain hidden sugars. This includes ready-made sauces, processed breads, and breakfast cereals. Whenever possible, opt for fresh, whole foods, which are naturally lower in sugar. And remember, controlling your sugar intake doesn't mean you have to give up flavor. There are countless delicious and healthy recipes that can replace traditional sweets and still help you control inflammation and improve your overall health. By making these small changes, you'll already be on the right track to improving your health. By reducing your consumption of refined sugars, you will experience less pain in your abdominal muscles, joints, more energy, and a greater sense of overall well-being. The second food that may be bloating your body is what we call trans fats. These artificial fats are found in many processed foods, such as cookies, fried foods, fast food, and even some baked goods. The problem is that, despite being cheap and providing texture and flavor to food, trans fats have an extremely negative impact on our health. Trans fats are formed when vegetable oil undergoes a process called hydrogenation, which transforms liquid oils into solid fats. This process makes the fats more stable, which increases the shelf life of food. However, the price we pay for this stability is high. Consuming these fats increases bad cholesterol, LDL, while decreasing good cholesterol, HDL, promoting inflammation in the arteries and body tissues. The inflammation generated by trans fats mainly affects the cardiovascular system. Over time, this can lead to the formation of plaques in the arteries, a process known as atherosclerosis, which significantly increases the risk of heart disease and even stroke. And after age 60, the risk of heart complications is already higher, making the consumption of trans fats even more dangerous. Furthermore, the consumption of these fats is also linked to increased inflammation in the joints. The accumulation of fat in cells can aggravate conditions such as arthritis, making joints stiffer and more painful. For those who already suffer from joint pain, the constant consumption of trans fats can worsen this condition even further. So, how can you avoid these harmful fats? The first thing you should do is start reading food labels. Often, trans fats are hidden under names like partially hydrogenated oils. Always look for products that are free of trans fats and avoid foods that contain hydrogenated oils in their ingredient list. A good alternative to replace trans fats are healthy fats, such as those found in extra virgin olive oil, avocado, and nuts. These healthy fats not only help reduce inflammation, but also contribute to heart health and improve brain function. Olive oil, for example, contains monounsaturated fatty acids, which are beneficial for the heart and help lower LDL cholesterol. Avocado, in addition to being an excellent source of healthy fat, is rich in fiber and antioxidants that protect cells against oxidative damage, which also contributes to inflammation. Another great substitute is nuts, such as almonds, cashews, and walnuts. They are rich sources of polyunsaturated fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation in the body, while also providing a good amount of protein and fiber. With these alternatives, you not only avoid trans fats, but are also adopting dietary habits that promote heart health, improve brain function, and reduce inflammation in the body. Small changes, such as swapping hydrogenated oils for olive oil or adding more nuts and avocados to your diet, can make a big difference to your long-term health. By making these substitutions, you'll start to notice benefits in just a few weeks. More energy, less joint pain, and much stronger cardiovascular health. So, if you want to improve your health and reduce inflammation in your body, start replacing trans fats with good fats today. We've reached the third food that may be causing inflammation in your body: processed and fried foods. These foods are convenient, quick, and often tasty, but the health risks they pose are enormous, especially after age 60. Foods like hamburgers, French fries, frozen foods, and processed snacks are high in sodium, preservatives, artificial colors, and saturated fats. The problem isn't just what you see, but what you don't see. These foods often contain trans fats, as we've already discussed, and are also full of toxins and chemical additives that can inflame the body in ways you can't imagine. Sodium, present in large quantities in these foods, is one of the biggest culprits for inflammation. Excess sodium retains fluids, which overloads the kidneys, increases blood pressure, and causes inflammation in the arteries and joints. And, as if that weren't enough, excessive sodium consumption is also linked to an increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure. In addition to sodium, the presence of chemical additives and preservatives in these processed foods also contributes to inflammation. These additives can alter the gut microbiota, disrupting the balance between good and bad bacteria in the intestine. And when the gut is unhealthy, the impact extends throughout the body, with increased systemic inflammation and compromised immune system. But the biggest problem with fried foods is the frying process in hot oil. When foods are fried, especially in reused oils, free radicals are formed, which are unstable molecules that damage the body's cells. These free radicals accelerate the cellular aging process, contribute to inflammation, and increase the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Solar radiation and pollution also generate free radicals, but excessive frying and consumption of processed foods intensify this production, further damaging body tissues. The result? Increased inflammation in the joints, which aggravates conditions like arthritis and a higher risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. So, what can you do to reduce your consumption of these processed and fried foods? The first thing is simple: avoid fried foods. Whenever possible, replace frying with healthier cooking methods such as grilling, baking, steaming, or even sautéing. Using a little extra virgin olive oil, which contains antioxidants, is an excellent alternative to grilling or sautéing. Best of all, by making this substitution, you're not only avoiding excess fat and sodium, but also adding more nutrients to your dish. Fresh vegetables, fish, grilled chicken, and even whole grains can be prepared deliciously and nutritiously without the need to fry. Another important tip is to replace processed foods, such as cookies and snacks, with more natural options. How about swapping processed cookies for nuts and dried fruit? Or potato chips for homemade vegetable chips? These are healthier alternatives that satisfy your craving for something crunchy and tasty without harming your health. By making these swaps, you will quickly notice the benefits: less joint pain, more energy, and a general feeling of well-being. Your heart health will also improve, and inflammation in your body will begin to decrease. And the best part is that these changes are easy to implement in your daily life without sacrificing flavor. Now, think about it. Processed and fried foods may be quick and convenient, but the health benefits you gain by replacing them with more natural and fresh options are worth much more. If you want to improve your long-term health and live a higher quality life, invest in healthier alternatives. Now that you know which foods to avoid to reduce inflammation in your body, it's time to understand the direct benefits you'll feel when making these changes. We're not just talking about immediate relief, but lasting improvements in your health and well-being. As you begin to eliminate foods that cause inflammation and replace them with healthy alternatives, you'll start to notice a significant increase in energy. Many people who consume processed foods high in sugar or trans fats feel tired and lethargic. This is because these foods overload the body, hindering organ function and energy production. When you make healthier choices, your body starts to function more efficiently, and you feel more energized throughout the day. Furthermore, you will notice a reduction in joint pain. If you suffer from arthritis or any other joint-related problem, eliminating inflammatory foods can bring significant relief. Inflammation in the joints is a major cause of pain and discomfort, but by eliminating foods like refined sugars, trans fats, and processed foods, you will reduce this inflammation and, over time, you may feel your joints lighter and less painful. Sleep quality also improves. When the body is overloaded with harmful foods, it can affect sleep, resulting in restless nights and poor quality rest. But by following an anti-inflammatory diet, your body finds a better balance, which promotes deep and restorative sleep. And with improved sleep, you will notice a feeling of renewal upon waking, more energy during the day, and a significantly more balanced mood. Speaking of mood, one of the best things you will notice when avoiding these inflammatory foods is the improvement in your emotional state. When the body is overloaded with toxins and foods that cause inflammation, it can affect not only your physical health, but also your mental health. With a healthier diet, you begin to have better emotional balance, feeling calmer, less anxious, and more able to cope with the challenges of daily life. And perhaps one of the greatest benefits, let's talk about weight control. When you reduce inflammation in your body and adopt a more balanced diet, your ability to lose weight improves. This is because the body is no longer burdened with toxins and inflammatory processes that hinder fat burning. Furthermore, a healthy diet keeps the metabolism more active, which helps control weight over time. With all these benefits, it's easy to see how small changes can make a huge difference to your health. Less joint pain, more energy, better sleep, emotional balance, and weight control. All this can be achieved by adopting a diet that combats inflammation. The positive impact of an anti-inflammatory diet goes far beyond the physical. It will improve your overall health, your energy levels for activities, and your quality of life in every aspect. The good news is that you don't need to make radical changes overnight. Start slowly, and you'll begin to see results in a short time. The best part is that these benefits last. The more you take care of your diet and avoid inflammatory foods, the more your body will respond positively, creating a cycle of well-being and health. And all of this contributes to a longer and healthier life. So don't wait any longer. Start adopting these healthy eating habits today and see the difference it can make in your life. You have the power to transform your health, and every step towards an anti-inflammatory diet is a step towards a healthier and fuller life. Now that you know how inflammatory foods affect your health and how small changes can make a big difference, it's time to act. Don't wait any longer to take control of your health. The good news is that these changes can be implemented simply and gradually in your daily life. Start today by replacing processed and fried foods with fresh and natural alternatives. Adopt the practice of reading food labels. Replace refined sugar with natural options like fruits and natural sweeteners, and introduce healthy fats like olive oil and avocado into your diet. And, of course, invest in fresh foods such as vegetables, greens, and lean proteins. If you enjoyed today's tips and want to learn more about adopting an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, don't forget to like this video and share it with friends and family. The more people who know about these healthy habits, the more everyone will benefit in terms of health and well-being. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other videos on how to improve your health practically and effectively. And to help you even more, in the description you'll find a link to our free ebook with more anti-inflammatory tips and recipes to start your wellness journey. Remember, every step counts. No matter where you are on your health journey, starting today is what really matters. You deserve to live with more health, more energy, and a better quality of life. Remember, health begins with small daily choices. By adopting healthier eating habits, you can significantly improve your life and health. Take care of yourself, make changes now, and enjoy the best of life. Until the next video,